Hey, good afternoon. How are all my beautiful soul family members out there doing today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, and the time is 1:53 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, beautiful day today, right? There's fantastic energy out and about. I've been studying, right? Going through one of my favorite teachers, listening to Wayne Dyer. Just so full of wisdom, right? And I've talked about him before throughout my readings. But I was listening specifically to resentment. He gave a great speech, right, on resentment. Anger, right? Anger and resentment. These limiting energies that many times, right, we carry with us. And I love the metaphor that he used. You know, he kind of referred to it as being a snake bite, right? When anger happens, it's the snake bite. But nobody dies from a snake bite, right? It's the poison, the venom that runs through, right, the body afterwards. That's what kills a person, right? And so that venom and that runs through the body, that's up to us, right? That's our choice of whether or not we choose to stew over things, right? And to carry feelings of resentment or bitterness or anger. So it's, very, very limiting energy. So anyways, I just love that analogy, and he shared it, so I wanted to share it with all of you. And anyways, it got me thinking, actually. It just got me thinking about my own life, looking back on it. And it's just interesting how much different I used to be, especially as a kid. So I'm going to ramble for a few minutes here. I'm going to share a little bit about me personally. Just a little bit about kind of what I was like growing up. Anyways, so when I was a little kid, I was a cute little kid. I was a little towhead. I came out. My hair was very blonde. Anyways, I was very active. I got involved in bowling early on. So my family was a bowling family. My mom bowled in a league. My grandma bowled in a league. Both my grandmas bowled in a league, actually. And then on a Saturday mornings, I would bowl in a league. And that was kind of my first step into competition. And I was very competitive. I was in that league for probably 6 or 7 years. And, I had a window full of trophies, right, from various tournaments. So I could compete. I was good. But wow, I was a hothead. It was crazy. At this bowling alley we would go to, it was kind of like a second home for us. We were well networked there. Our family knew everybody well, knew the owners. Anyways, when I would get up and bowl, if I would roll the ball and I knew that it was perfect where it was hitting, right? And if I didn't get a strike, and I knew I should have got a strike, when I walked back, I would kick the bowling ball thing, right, where the bowling ball comes out. Every time, and it would be this loud crack, and I'm surprised I didn't break my toe or my foot, right, over the years of doing this, right? And I would look up at the stands, I would see my mom and my grandma there, and they would just be giving me this evil eye, so disappointed and embarrassed. Anyways, that was just kind of a funny, that's kind of the way I was when I was real young as a kid. I for whatever reason, so strongly competitive. And then came other sports, basketball, football, baseball. I was competitive in those as well. And then golf came along. That was probably during my 20s. And I used to be the kind of, I no longer got this way, but I used to be the kind of golfer. I played quite a bit. But I'd be the kind of golfer that I would get upset and I would break a club or throw a club. Not all the time, right? But I would lose my cool completely on the golf course. It was just terrible. I look back on it now and I just can't even imagine that. But it was me. It was what I was experiencing back then. by choice. And then, life continues to happen. We continue on our journey, and, we make choices, and our journey takes us to great places, and then sometimes it takes us to the depths of despair, which I personally tasted of and experienced in my life. So, yeah, I think in my 30s and 40s, I think my anger was tamed down quite a bit. And if anything, I was directing it inward towards me, maybe like in self-destructive kind of behaviors. But it never served me well, ever. It was always, I can just look back on it, and I have that understanding. Right? I can feel the truth in that, and feeling the truth in something is different than just knowing it. You know it, you have knowledge and understanding. You feel it, you have experience, and so you have the wisdom from it, right? So, anyways, I look back at my life, and I just the experience, and it's been an amazing experience. But it's, there have been some major bumps in my life, all created by me, by choice. Yeah. So anger, just never something that serves us well, and it's so much easier to do ourselves the favor. And if others have made us angry, we've loaned them money, they haven't paid us back, they lied to us, they brought harm to us, whatever it may have been. It's so much easier, initially we feel it, but it's so much easier just to allow that limiting energy to pass, right? And to not carry any of those thoughts of feelings of anger towards them, right? Because those thoughts, that's what kind of creates emotions and energy and feelings, right? So just removing those thoughts and, changing our thoughts, right? Changing our thoughts in ways to where we find ourselves giving the other person the benefit of the doubt. It's okay, right? Give somebody the benefit of the doubt. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I always want to be given the benefit of the doubt, right? So I think all of us want that all the time. Give somebody the benefit of the doubt that their intention is good, that there's just a misunderstanding. And then you could even go a level deeper, right, for more serious matters, and sometimes I personally believe that, throughout our life experiences, many times some of the more difficult, pinnacle type experiences that maybe took place with us in life that may be connected to other people, it may very well be that those energies are in place for a reason, right? To be able to create and be part of this experience for you, right? To be able to, in some ways, cause you a lot of pain and grief and suffering. However, it also stimulates a tremendous amount of growth, right? So if we look at things from an infinite perspective, and we're looking at infinite growth, we're all about growth. So if anything, we're grateful for the growth that came from that, right? So if we can turn that anger into gratitude, because it's all about you, right? This is all about your life experience, right? Nobody else. You don't take anybody else with you. It's your life experience. So it's up to each and every one of us to try to create the best life experience we can. And honestly, I was thinking about it kind of deeply this morning. And I really believe that the beginning of healing takes place within us, right? It truly does, because we control those limiting energies, right? Of whether or not we allow those to fester within us. And when those limiting energies fester within us, especially for years, and especially the heavier energies, they have an effect. They have an effect on our physical body, changing frequencies and areas, causing different sicknesses and ailments and such. Just not something that serves us very well. So, the ability to just recognize that, and to let those go, just seems like it makes a lot of sense. So, I know I was a little bit long-winded with that. I just glanced at the clock and it was 10 minutes right on the money. So that was my 10-minute ramble. I say ramble, but truly, there was a reason that I was energetically inclined to go to that specific discussion, right, and to listen to that, and that it would affect me the way that it did and sink in a way that inspired me to want to share it, right, to feel the need, the importance, and even the responsibility of sharing it here on this channel, because there's somebody out there that needs to hear that. You know, I truly believe that. Truly, I believe that there are some buddies out there that need to hear that. I feel like I'm connecting with more and more of your energies, you know, with the channel growing and such. And I've noticed in my readings that my readings are kind of going longer, right? Today's is longer because I was sharing at the beginning of the video, but my readings in general, whether they're personal, whatever, they're kind of going longer. I feel like I'm picking up on a lot more energies, so there's just more messages to be shared. Okay, so we're going to tap the crystal healing bowl, and we're going to let it sing to us for a moment here, and then we're going to start today's tarot reading. So this is a perfect time to just release ourselves from outcomes. Just allow yourself to kind of go inward, right? Just to forget about the worries and the cares, the responsibilities of the day for this moment right here, right? This is your time to let go and just be and listen. That sounded great on this end. I hope it came through clearly and beautifully on your end. I kind of think it did. Okay, perfect. All right, let's start today's tarot love reading. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you tuning in and listening. I appreciate all the comments, all the love and the support that you guys share with me. I read the comments. I respond back to many of them. Also, sometimes, and I have to mention this, I've been meaning to mention this for a little while. Every now and then, emails will get past me. And I don't mean anything by it. It's just hard to stay on top of all of them. And I'm usually pretty good at it. But every now and then, I know an email has gotten past me here and there, right? So if you happen to have fallen into that, I apologize to you. It wasn't intentional. I do my best to try to stay on top of them. So I'm asking for a little benefit of the doubt now. Okay. All right, so we're going to begin today's tarot reading by pulling an affirmation card and seeing which affirmation our guides feel would be best suited for us to hear, taking us into today's tarot love reading. Okay, great affirmation. We drew the affirmation of Grace, the name of my youngest. We love Grace. Grace, the number 20, representing duality, partnership. Grace, blessing, come to me, set me free. Grace, blessing, come to me, set me free. Grace, blessing, come to me, set me free. Okay, and the energy of grace, it truly is a blessing, right? And so much so, I want to read to us real quickly from the guidebook. It's a little tricky taking a drink with glasses on. Okay, so we're going to learn about grace, because Grace is a beautiful thing, right? And many times I feel like it's grace, the energy of grace that comes after letting go of resentments, right? Allowing true forgiveness to take place in our lives. Grace is the ability to bear what must be borne without objection, anguish, or agony. It doesn't mean you are immunized against the sadness and pain life can bring, but this spell will grant you the fortitude to learn what you can, cope with what you must, and be wise when it counts the most, especially when those around you may be foolish and causing you pain. If this spell chose you, practice loving kindness and forgiveness exercises. Wow, this is just so intuitively guided, pulling this affirmation card today. This will help you to be freer, more philosophical, and less hurt by circumstances. When we can see the big picture, we no longer take the foolish actions of others so personally. Detach and have the grace to bless and step away from those who are acting out of pain and thus causing you and others pain. If you have chosen this spell, you may be trying unsuccessfully to move through a past painful experience. Cast this spell with good faith and feel yourself gradually moving away from the pain as grace comes to bless your heart with her magic. I mean, gives me goosebumps. I want to thank our guides for sharing that affirmation with us, because it's definitely an affirmation that's meant to be heard today, right? Taking into account what I just went on about when the first 10 minutes about talking about forgiveness and carrying resentments, right? And releasing ourselves from those heavy energies and that they just don't serve us, right? And others need us to forgive them, right? And we need to be forgiven by others. Okay. All right. Well, makes me really, really look forward to today's tarot love reading. Okay, I restacked that 2 times because the cut was a very thin cut, like 1 or 2 cards thin. Okay, opening energy, taking us into today's tarot love reading. We have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords, pages are messengers. So we begin today's tarot reading with news, right? News coming in possibly by an air sign. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. If so, it would be a younger energy. Bringing a message, right? Bringing a truth of some sort, right? An important truth. Okay. Coming in next, we have the Five of Cups. So interesting that we were just talking about forgiveness, right? So the Five of Cups represents a limiting energy, right? Represents, if you look at the figure here in the card, she's focused on these 3 spilled cups that are in the water, right? 3 of the 5 cups are in the water. The other 2 are right next to her. Spilled cups represent disappointments, setbacks, right? Sadness, grief, heartbreak, right? If her focus is there, she's unable to see that she has 2 full cups being offered to her, right? So this is about, well, when things happen, right? Life happens, whether it's love, romance, relationship related, right? Or work or business related, friendship related, whatever it is. Things happen and instances happen and there's pain that occurs. There's sometimes heartbreak and there's loss, which is always initially felt, right? This is about letting go of that, right? This is about her not just focusing on these 3 full cups, but rather focusing on inside of her, right? The growth that came after these cups, after these experiences. If she can focus on the growth, then she can begin to recognize that life is not so bleak. She's being offered 2 full cups. tell us more. Okay, beautiful. Coming in next, we have the Sun card, which is the card of Leo, right? So some of you may be in a relationship with a Leo, or you may have Leo somewhere in your chart. This is a beautiful energy, as it represents the energy of being able to live life with childlike enthusiasm. It's being interested in life and excited about life, right? This is anything but the Five of Swords. This is not carrying any of that weight, any of that luggage with you. This is freeing yourself of all of it. If you look at the figure here in the card, she holds her baby up against her chest. She has her white horse behind her in the background. She's surrounded by a garden of sunflowers, right? So she's basking in unconditional love and beauty. So the energy in that card will represent, the energy of the sun, right? The sun really shining on you. It's blissful. Okay, tell us more. Tell us more. Okay, coming in next, and at the center of today's tarot love reading, we have the High Priestess card. So the High Priestess card represents our intuition, right? So the universe, right? The energy in this card by itself represents the universe, letting you know to trust your intuition, right? Trusting your inner feeling. Showing up at the center of today's tarot love reading, right? So put some significance and some importance on this energy. Notice she's surrounded by butterflies, representing rebirth, right? She's surrounded by butterflies on the Sun card too. Okay. Coming in next to the High Priestess, we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a great energy, right? For many, this represents the energy of the Happily Ever After card. Represents the energy of two people coming together, right? Coming together in union. And for many, this will be romantic. For others, maybe just friendship, right? But there's definitely a connection there between these two people. Looking at the figures on the card, I mean, he's her knight in shining armor, and she's his queen. Unconditional love and the connection that's felt between these two, powerful, a spiritual connection. Okay. It also represents commitment, right? So, and it can be romance, personal related, or it can be business related. Or it can be friendship related, of making some level of commitment together, right, between two people, right, or a person and organization. If it's romantic, you're maybe committing to exclusivity, or you're committing to moving in together, or committing to engagement or marriage. Okay, coming in next, we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a good energy, representing the energy of rest and recuperation. Coming in next to the Four of Wands. All right, tell us more. Okay, coming in next, underneath the Five of Cups, so attached to it, we have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands represents the energy of a fire sign, right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Pages are messengers, right? So this would be news coming in. If so, it'd be a younger fire sign. It could be a text, a phone call, email, or conversation, but news, a message of some sort coming in. And that's attached to the Five of Cups, which is that limiting energy of being focused, right, on spilled cups. Okay. All right, so coming in underneath the sun, so attached to it, we have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups represents, by way of zodiac, water sign energy. So Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Queen of Cups is the most loving queen. Right? She has both feet in the water. Water represents a lot of emotions and feelings. So sometimes this queen can be a little overly emotional. Right? But she's the most loving queen, and what makes her the most loving queen is similar to the Empress. She's learned to recognize her value and her worth and developed a high sense of self-love first. And that's what allows her to be so loving to everybody else. Okay, showing up at the center of today's tarot love reading, we have the Five of Swords. So Five of Swords. It's just so interesting that at the beginning of the reading, we're talking about forgiveness, we're talking about resentments, we're talking about letting go, about healing, right? About that being a choice. And here we are, messages in today's reading running parallel with that. And the affirmation card couldn't be more specific. So the Five of Swords is a limiting energy, right? And there's some importance on this energy as it's showing up at the center of today's tarot love reading. Represents the energy of feeling like somebody stabbed you in the back, right? Or feeling like somebody had your back, only experienced that they didn't, right? So this represents, relationship gone bad of some sort. Business, friendship, partnership, romantic. It went bad. Two swords that are impaled on our back, and those two swords may have significant meaning to some of you out there. There's a raven perched up here on one sword. These colors in the center, to me, they represent unconditional love and healing, right? So, the important thing is not what took place at this time, right? But who you are today because of this. There was growth there. It was difficult. I feel like it was, for whoever this is for, I feel like it was very painful. So initially you had to feel that, you had to experience that, right? But we don't have to hang on to that. We don't have to hang on to feelings of anger, right? To feelings of resentment. We can do ourselves and them the favor of truly letting go, forgiving completely. Give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Take some ownership in whatever. So usually there's two people that are responsible for things, right? So what was our level of responsibility? And focus on that, because that's really the only thing that we can control. That's connected to the High Priestess, right? So that's connected to some intuition. All right, tell us more. Okay, coming in underneath the Four of Wands, so attached to it, we have the Emperor card, which is the card of Aries. Right? So some of you may have an Aries in your life, or you may be an Aries. Emperor this is a great energy, right? It represents being able to feel the kind of energy where it can be trusted, right? That you can count on it, that it's going to show up. And the Emperor, he holds the world in the palm of his hand, right? He wears the horn of the ram for power and strength. And this Emperor, he stands sure-footed on top of this hill, right? So represents that energy of confidence, right? And sometimes, right, for whatever reason, there's a beginning to this in some way, shape, or form, connected to this Four of Wands. Okay. Right. I'm not at all surprised to see this card come out because it tried to come out earlier in the reading. And I kind of felt something with it, like it was maybe supposed to be out, right? And it showed up. We now have the Death card, so the card of Scorpio. So some of you may have a Scorpio in your life, or in a relationship with a Scorpio. You may be a Scorpio. The energy in this card, what it represents by itself, is this is transformation. This is a transformational kind of change. Transformational kind of change that comes from within. It's titled the Death card, which sounds dark, but it's not dark. This is about something coming to an ending, right? And I already know, I can feel what it is, right? And what's coming to an ending is these limiting energies, right, of that you're carrying around with you, right? This heavy weight of anger and betrayal, right, and bitterness, resentment. Going through a transformational change and allowing those energies to pass, like allowing yourself the gift of true forgiveness, right? That's exactly what this card represents. And it's connected, attached to rest and recuperation, right? Which, whoever this is for, you can't help but feel and experience that after you've given yourself the gift of truly forgiving. Card on top of the deck, right? Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about, letting go of limiting energies, right? Limiting energies, their past experiences, pains, disappointments, griefs, heartbreaks. It's about letting those go, right? In order to what? Walk towards brighter light. It's our energy taking us out of the today's tarot read. Right? So the figure on the card, she has a willingness to lie down her swords. Swords representing limitations, mental energies, right? Maybe resentments, maybe fear, worries, concerns, anger, hatred. A willingness to let those down in order to walk towards the sun, which is piercing through the clouds, brighter days. Okay. All right. I really like today's tarot reading. I feel significance and importance to today's tarot reading. Okay, so now I need to take a moment. I need to look at the cards and see where they are in terms of relationship to each other, and I need to really feel what's being shared here in the messages, so I can share the whole reading with you. So give me just a few moments to do this. I'll come right back and share the reading. Hang on. Okay, so I think I have it here. Great reading today. So opening affirmation taking us into today's tarot love reading is grace. Right, so grace, a beautiful energy that we all have the opportunity to be able to connect ourselves with and experience when we can allow ourselves the ability to be able to forgive others, right? To truly let go. Okay, and also, it's not just about forgiving others, but it's about forgiving ourselves too. Right? I mean, we're all imperfect human beings, right? Making mistakes all the time. So why hang on to any of that baggage? It's history, so let it be history, not part of your present. Okay, opening energy, taking us into today's tarot love reading. It's the Page of Swords, right? So a message coming through, right? A message by an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, right? It's a truth. Okay, coming in next, we have the Five of Cups, right? Representing those very energies, right? Those limiting energies. These 3 spilled cups in the water, they were past experiences that took place, that we felt, that brought pain into our life, right? This represents hanging on to some of those limiting energies. So connected to these limiting energies, we have the Page of Wands, right? Which is another message of some sort coming in by way of a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, if so a younger energy. It's connected to, somehow connected to these 3 spilled cups. Okay, so choices, right? If we can give ourselves the opportunity to choose to forgive, right? To allow painful experiences in the past to become just that, experiences that brought us growth, right? Growth and understanding. Gives us the opportunity to be able to feel and experience the energy of the sun, right? So to feel young, like a kid again, right? Because those limiting energies, their heaviness, their weight, right? And so take that weight off of you, providing you and taking you to the energy of the Queen of Cups, which is unconditional love, right? So for many, maybe even taking some of this anger, right? And maybe it's directed inward and forgiving yourself, letting go of past mistakes. I mean, truly letting go. Can't change it, it happened. So, showing up at the center of today's tarot love reading, we have the High Priestess card, and attached to the High Priestess is the Five of Swords. So, the High Priestess representing our intuition, right? The universe reminding us of the importance of our intuition, of connecting to it, of listening to it. Attached to it, we have the Five of Swords, right? So something that's happened in the past, right? Some experience or experiences that were very painful. Painful, so you felt when they first happened, right? And there was limiting energies that have maybe stayed with you for months, maybe even years, right? This is your opportunity, right? To be able to let those go, to be able to truly let it go and focus on your growth, focus on your experience. So for many of you, where maybe this Five of Swords, this is relationship related, whether it's friendship or romantic, right? What you've done by allowing yourself to forgive and truly open yourself up, you've opened yourself up to being able to receive and be in a relationship again, right, with another person. Because you're not taking this baggage, these heavy energies with you into this relationship, right? Past experiences, like this has happened in the past, I just know it's going to happen again. I got hurt in the past, I'm going to get hurt again. It's not taking any of that with you, right? They lied in the past, they'll lie again. It's letting go of all of that, right? And what does it do? How does it serve you? It takes you to your power, right? Of really feeling connected and having your power back, right? Of really, there's nothing, you have your harmony back, right? And now that you have your harmony back, it's about maintaining and keeping that harmony. Yeah, so it's forgiveness in today's tarot reading, right? Whoever this is for. Coming in next, we have the Death card. Attached to the Death card, we have the Four of Swords, right, representing the energy of rest and recuperation. Connected to it, all right, we see an ending, right, a transformational kind of ending. So this is about a transformational change that comes from within, right? So insight, growth, and understanding. I mean, it takes courage and it takes growth to be able to truly forgive others, right? Truly forgive. But when you can do it, it's transformational. And you'll feel all of that weight lifted off of you, right? Providing that energy of rest and recuperation. Energy taking us out of today's tarot love reading is the Six of Swords. Six of Swords representing that energy of willingness to lay down our swords, right? To walk another direction. This is trusting. This is having faith. This is trusting yourself, trusting the universe, and trusting others. Not carrying any past experiences that were negative with us, right? Expecting more of the same. This is stepping into something with faith and trust. Willingness to learn and continue to grow, experience. Okay, guys, I'm done with today's tarot love reading. I feel like there were, everything about today's tarot love reading lets me know that the messages were just very, very specific. Because, coincidentally, energy guided me towards forgiveness and taking on forgiveness and not carrying around feelings of resentment at the very beginning of the reading, and then right away it shows up in grace, our willingness to forgive and to let go and allow ourselves that energy of grace in our lives. Very important. So I just feel like the messages in today's reading were very specific, right, for somebody or somebody's out there. So I hope you enjoyed today's reading. I hope you heard all the messages that were here and meant for you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. It's a true pleasure. It matters to me. These readings, they matter to me, right? I feel them within me. So making a difference really matters. Thank you so much. Have a great day.